Have you ever, wished for maybe a shortcut? Especially when life feels just impossibly busy, a shortcut to maybe uh, profound spiritual depth.
It's a common feeling, right? How can ancient wisdom possibly fit into our modern, really fast-paced world?
Exactly. And that paradox is kind of what we're exploring today in this deep dive.
Precisely. We're going to be looking into some ancient texts, some wisdom from saints, to uncover what you might call a surprising math behind certain devotional practices.
Math. Okay. Intriguing.
Yeah, well, the idea is to understand how really simple sounds, simple mantras, can carry immense spiritual weight. It's a way to get, well informed about a fascinating spiritual concept, maybe more efficiently than you'd think.
So our sources for this,
Yeah.
we're drawing from the hidden math of devotion. One mantra equals the 83 million names. That's one P text.
Right, and also some narratives and calculations from a video script that really dives into the potency of these sacred names.
And this is really for you, the listener, if you want that quick yet thorough knowledge. We're aiming for those aha moments about how spiritual practices might just be, well, more efficient than you imagine.
Designed, perhaps, for those exact feelings of being overwhelmed, either by information or just, lack of time.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Where do we start?
Well, to really get this, we kind of need to go back, way back, to let's call it a foundational divine conversation.
Right, take us there. Sounds like a historic moment.
Picture this: Mount Kailasa, high in the Himalayas, serene, sacred.
Okay.
And there's Lord Shiva, the great ascetic, talking with Devi Parvati, the cosmic mother.
A divine summit meeting.
Who could say that? And Devi Parvati asks Shiva a really insightful question. She notices he's often chanting the name Rama, and she asks him essentially why. Why that name so often? What's its real power, its potency?
Good question. What did Shiva say? This is where the math starts, I guess.
Exactly. Shiva reveals something quite astonishing. He says that chanting the name Rama just once gives you the spiritual merit equal to reciting the entire Vishnu Sahasranamas 3 times.
3 times. The whole 1,000 names of Vishnu.
The whole 1,000 names, yes. 3 full recitations just from saying Rama once with devotion.
Wow. Okay. That's already pretty significant.
But he doesn't stop there. He then talks about the name Krishna. He says one single utterance of Krishna is equivalent to chanting Rama 3 times.
Wait, so 3 Ramas equals 9 Sahasranamas.
Precisely. 9 recitations of the 1,000 names of Vishnu just from saying Krishna once. And Shiva really emphasized Krishna's unique divine sweetness when he explained this.
Incredible. So from this divine insight, how does that connect to a specific practice or mantra?
Well, it leads directly to what's known as the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Yeah.
This specific mantra wasn't just, thought up recently. No,
Right.
it was actually spoken about in ancient texts like the Padma Purana.
Yeah.
It was prophesied specifically for this age we're living in, Kali Yuga.
The current age, right.
The current age, yeah. Which is known for being, challenging spiritually. And then about 500 years ago, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared.
Who is understood as Radha and Krishna combined.
Exactly. He came to deliver this mantra kind of in its full glory to the world. And importantly, it wasn't just dropped randomly. It flowed down through what's called a guru parampara.
A lineage of teachers.
An unbroken chain, yeah.
Yeah.
Preserving the purity, the essence. Figures like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, a major scholar and saint, and his disciple, Srila Prabhupada, who many people know for bringing this mantra to the West and making it globally accessible, they ensured it wasn't lost.
So, ancient prophecy, divine explanation, a lineage. Let's bring it down to earth a bit. How does this apply to someone, say, today?
Okay, perfect example. Let's imagine a young seeker, we can call him Bhargav.
Okay.
And Bhargav is, struggling, like many of us. The demands of work, family, just modern life. He feels he has very, very little time for spiritual practice.
That sounds familiar to many, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So feeling this pinch, he goes to see an old, wise saint, Rishi Anantadas. He lays it all out. I want spiritual benefit, but I have such meager time. What can I do?
And what did the Rishi say? Something complicated.
Surprisingly simple, actually. Rishi Anantadas just told him, chant this mantra.
The Maha Mantra.
The Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. He said, chant it once, but with bhakti.
With love, with devotion.
Exactly. With love, not just mechanically. Do that, the Rishi said, and just watch what happens, observe the changes. It wasn't about quantity initially, but the quality of intention.
Okay, so we have the background, The divine potency, the lineage, the seeker's problem, and the simple advice. Now, the math. Let's get into these calculations. What's the big aha moment here?
Right. This is where it gets pretty mind-blowing, building on what Shiva said. Let's break down just one recitation of the full Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Okay, one mantra.
Inside that one mantra, the name Krishna appears 4 times.
All right, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna. 4 times.
And the name Rama also appears 4 times. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama.
Got it. 4 Krishnas, 4 Ramas.
Okay. Now remember Shiva's math. 1 Krishna equals 9 Sahasranamas.
9.
So 4 Krishnas times 9 Sahasranamas per Krishna, that gives you 36 Sahasranamas.
36 just from the Krishnas in one mantra.
Just from the Krishnas. Now for Rama, 1 Rama equals 3 Sahasramas.
Right.
You have 4 Ramas in the mantra. So 4 Ramas times 3 Sahasranamas per Rama equals 12 Sahasranamas.
Right, it's 12 from the Rama.
So you add them together, the 36 from Krishna and the 12 from Rama.
That's 48.
48. One single recitation of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra carries the spiritual weight, the benefit of chanting the entire Vishnu Sahasranama 48 times.
48 times. From one short mantra. That's quite something. It almost sounds too good to be true, in a way. How do we understand that concentration of benefit?
It really speaks to the immense inherent potency within these specific divine names, especially when combined in this particular configuration given for this age. But wait, it gets bigger.
Oh, okay.
Devotees who practice this regularly, they typically chant what are called rounds on beads. One round is 108 repetitions of the mantra.
108 times.
So let's calculate the value of just one round. That's 108 mantras times the 48 Sahasranamas we just figured out for each mantra.
108 times 48.
That comes out to 5,184 Sahasranamas per round.
5,000. Wow. Okay.
Per round. And the standard daily practice often recommended is chanting 16 rounds.
16 rounds. Okay, so now we multiply that 5,184 by 16.
Exactly. 16 rounds times 5,184 Sahasranamas per round gives you a total of 82,944 equivalents in Sahasranama chanting daily.
Daily. And just to put the final number on it, remember, each Vishnu Sahasranama contains 1,008 names.
Right, the 1,000 names, technically in 1,008.
So if you take those 82,944 Sahasranamas and multiply by 1,008 names per Sahasranama, okay, here it comes.
You get 83,664,000 names.
83.6 million names spiritually recited every day.
Every day. Just think about that scale. Chanting the Vishnu Sahasranama once might take, what, an hour? Maybe 2?
Yeah, at least. It's long and requires focus. Doing it maybe 2 or 3 times a day would be a huge effort.
A monumental effort. But here, by chanting these 16 rounds of this relatively simple, sweet-sounding mantra, which might take a couple of hours total, you're achieving the spiritual equivalent of chanting the Sahasranama nearly 83,000 times, reciting over 83 million names of the divine.
It really reframes the idea of spiritual practice and efficiency, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And there's a reason for this potency, especially now.
Connecting back to Kali Yuga.
Exactly. If we look at the bigger cosmic picture described in these texts, you have different ages, yugas. Satya Yuga, the golden age, people lived for, say, 100,000 years.
Wow.
Then Treta Yuga, 10,000 years. Dvapara Yuga, 1,000 years. And now, Kali Yuga. Our lifespan is, maybe 100 years if we're lucky.
A drastic reduction.
Drastic. And it's not just lifespan. This age is characterized by stress, quarrel, hypocrisy, constant distraction. Our ability to focus, to perform long, arduous spiritual practices like the ones in previous ages is seriously diminished.
Makes sense. We're easily distracted, short on time, stressed out.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So the understanding is that the Lord, out of compassion, seeing our reduced capacity and the overwhelming nature of this age, he essentially compressed the quantum of spiritual benefit, as the source puts it, into this simple, accessible mantra.
So it's like a concession, a helping hand for this difficult age.
Exactly. A divine provision. It's given with bhakti, with love, as the key ingredient, not as some complex, burdensome ritual. It's meant to be about grace, not just hard-to-follow complexity.
A divine equalizer, almost. A cosmic shortcut, but one that still requires that essential ingredient of love, of devotion.
Absolutely. It's not about bypassing effort entirely, but focusing the effort on the quality of chanting, the sincerity, the feeling, the love, rather than just the sheer duration or complexity of the ritual.
So, going back to Bhargav the seeker, how did this understanding change things for him?
It was profound. He had that aha moment. He realized, Okay, the Lord isn't sitting there with the stopwatch counting the minutes.
Uh-huh.
He's looking at the heart. He counts the love within the prayer. It shifted his whole perspective. It became about devotion, genuine feeling, not just going through the motions, about realization, not just recitation.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Less pressure, more connection.
exactly. He understood that this mantra, these sounds, they aren't just sounds. It's like grace encoded in vibration. Each name chanted with that love.
Yes.
It works subtly. It chips away at accumulated karma, helps reveal the soul's actual nature, and ultimately brings you closer to experiencing that divine love directly.
So Bhargav found his answer. He said something like, "This mantra is my bridge."
Across lifetimes. He saw it not just as a daily practice, but as a profound connection, a pathway.
A powerful transformation. So for you listening, it really leaves you with something to think about, doesn't it? How can such, truly immense spiritual power reside in what seem like simple syllables? What is this connection between sound, our intention, that love, and divine grace? What does that suggest about, well, the nature of reality itself, and maybe your own potential for growth?
The idea that a simple act infused with genuine love can yield such potentially infinite grace, it's certainly a deep thought to ponder.